Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grill Nation show with Jason Grill. I am your host, Jason Grill. Thanks for joining us today. If you're listening on the radio on KMBZ 980 AM, or if you're joining on podcast, we greatly appreciate it. On our website, grillnationshow.com, or on YouTube. We're actually all over YouTube. We have all of our shows, full episodes there, as well as sneak peeks of all of our shows with our guests. Today's going to be a fun show. We're getting near the end of the year, and I thought it would be really appropriate to have back Andrew Bash, who is the owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. Their website is bashcosir.com. Put it up on the live stream here for those that are joining us on live stream. Welcome to the show, Andrew. How are you today?
Jason, I'm fabulous. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be with you at the end of the year here.
Yeah, this year flew by, huh?
It really did, didn't it?
It did. We're going to get into that in the show today. I really kind of want to break down kind of some of the highlights, some of the things that you saw in your industry, some of the changes, some of the ways you pivoted. Maybe we'll get some good life lessons out of you today, which is always something that I strive for when you come on the show. But again,
nice.
you're an expert in this field and obviously a leader in Kansas City. So we're excited to have you back on the show. What have you been up to, man? I mean, let's just start there. Quick updates from Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Real Estate as we sit here today, and Andrew Bash.
Well, this is our second full year as Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty, and we're getting ready to close out the year, and it's been quite a ride. In 2020, just as an example, not that this matters more than anything else, but you asked me, as it relates to Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. 2020, we did 166 million, and we helped 328 people or families. In 2021, year to date, we're at 246 million with 457 individual helped. So business has been great. It's been a crazy year.
Wow. So say those numbers again. I mean, just so we're clear here. You said over 200 million in sales.
Yeah. So we went from 166 million to 246 million in sales, and transactionally we went from 328 families to 457 families. So,
and that's all in this region, correct?
Yep. Yeah, that doesn't include all the business that we do outside of the state, which is, I think we have probably somewhere around 40 referrals in and out in different parts of the country. So we really
let's talk about that too. We'll get to that in a second, but I just want to point out that I'm interested to know kind of how you guys grew so much, obviously from year to year. But then I would like to point out that I was out in one of those other areas this weekend, last weekend in Arizona in Scottsdale, and I saw the Sotheby's International Realty sign over by Pinnacle Peak and True North Golf Course and Greyhawk in that area of Scottsdale, beautiful area. And I immediately thought, if I wanted to buy a place here, could I work with Andrew Bash, my good friend in Kansas City, to make this happen?
Yes, you could.
Okay.
I mean, we're the only company in the world that truly considers itself a global real estate brand. And I can guarantee that you would not have taken a picture if I was with Remax. You wouldn't have taken a picture if
I did take that picture. I forgot to text it to you, but I was going to. So I knew.
Yeah, but I get pictures texted to me all the time from clients like, "Oh, I'm out here. Look at the sign I saw," because it's such an incredible, transformative, amazing brand, and it's so recognizable. And that is a large reason why I was interested in bringing the brand to Kansas City, so that the people that live here had an opportunity to have that level of service and experience.
Andrew Bash, Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. You talked about kind of the growth numbers and the amount of people that you were able to help in 2021. How did you accomplish that internally in your own office and business?
I would say that the reason that we accomplished it primarily is the people that are attracted to the culture that we're creating and the experiences that we're delivering both to our agents, our partner, like I don't really like calling people agents. I call them partners, uh, and therefore, in turn, to our clients and the people that we work with outside. We
Mhm.
really look at real estate so differently than anyone else that's doing this, and I think it's the future of our industry is about experiences delivered upon and making sure people are seen and heard and acknowledged and delivering on an experience about home, not just geographical house, which has
Mhm.
always been a passion for me, even when I had the pink signs. But now taking that culture, um, attracting the kind of agents that really want to deliver amazing experiences to their clients that don't think transactionally, it changes everything.
Mhm. It does for sure. Andrew, so internally though, as far as the amount of folks that, I mean, how much did you all have to grow to I mean, that's a huge leap. I
I'm
mean,
actually for the year end. I'll be about we'll be at about 26 people here total.
wow. Which is a lot considering when I met you under your other brand, you had what, 3 to 4, maybe 5?
Yeah, like I think five of which all of those folks are no longer with me, with the exception of a couple.
Mhm. So, I mean, that's a lot of change for you in your life as well.
It's a lot of
How,
change.
how
I
how have
mean,
you adjusted to that, going from a really small boutique practice to now one that's doing over 240 million in sales?
well, I haven't done it. We've done it, and Ashley and Lane and Kara and Mackenzie, who are part of the marketing and the back office, are really the key to the success.
Mhm.
I would.
You got a great team.
I have a great team, and Julie Leonhardt, who was the chief operating officer for the entire brand, in the global brand for 3 years, recently relocated to Kansas City, and is now working with us as our chief growth officer, which is just an incredible addition. And we got really lucky to be able to have her be a part of this,
Mhm. Yeah,
which is really
it
exciting.
truly is transformational when you start throwing out numbers and people and houses, especially with how competitive your world is. With competition in this area, as far as people that want to be in real estate or are in real estate or know someone in real estate. I mean, for you all to grow that much and to stand out like that is pretty impressive.
I think we should just keep talking about how wonderful and great we are. I really appreciate it.
Well, that's just the first segment, Andrew. We're,
Well,
we're gonna we're gonna go on to some other topics here in a
I will
second.
tell you this: there is no one in Kansas City that is doing what we are doing, and what we are doing is being very purposeful about culture, very purposeful about the values that support who we believe we are and we need to be for our clients and Kansas City and the community. It's not just about selling homes. And it's
Yeah,
exciting because the landscape has changed dramatically over the last few months with
let's
new
let's talk
companies
about that
entering.
after the break, Andrew.
Oh, let's do that,
Yeah,
Jason. I
let's do
like that
that.
idea.
Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us for the Grill Nation show today. We'll be right back. Okay, good teaser.
Yay, Jason. Good work. You nailed it. You seem
we're
like you're an
still
old pro at
we're still
this.
on video here, buddy.
That's fine. I haven't done anything bad.
Yeah, we like outtakes.
You do?
Oh yeah. Um, okay, so we'll roll here. We'll continue rolling. I'm just setting my stopwatch.
Oh, good. Set your stopwatch.
Okay. In three, two, one. Welcome back to the Grill Nation show with Jason Grill. I want to thank you for joining us today, whether you're listening on the radio on KMBZ 980 AM or if you're joining us on podcast or on our website, grillnationshow.com. We also obviously are on social media. You can connect with me at Jason Grill and at Grill Nation Show. Our live stream is up on my Twitter as we speak, also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Just search for Jason Grill. Thank you so much. Again, joined today by Andrew Bash, who is with Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. Their website is bashcosir.com, bashcoser.com, bashcoser.com. Bash, Andrew, welcome back. Okay, so you were kind of teasing, the last few months going into 2022. Before you get to the last few months, kind of talk to us about 2021 as a whole. Did you expect to happen what happened with residential real estate this year, and then kind of get to that last 2 months topic as well?
Well, I knew the year was going to be insane. I didn't know it would be. I didn't know the pricing would change as drastic as it has.
In
Our
in
average,
in a in a upward movement?
yeah, the average sales price in Kansas has moved 12.2% in the year. So
Can
we
you say
were
that again?
around,
12.2%?
yeah, as of end of November, 12.2% year over year.
Wow.
So about 266, 268 was the average sales price in 2020, and we're hovering around 303-ish, 304 for 2021. Another interesting little side note is this, and this one's crazy. So, Jason, how many houses do you think sold over? How many properties, the total properties, sold over $2 million in the Kansas City area in 2020?
Good question. I'm gonna stall. I'm gonna go low here. I'll say maybe 20, 15 to 20.
Ooh, not
Is that
bad.
high?
29. 29.
Okay. I
How
thought
many
25 would be a
properties?
little high, but I went with a little. 29 is a big number.
So this is one of my favorite stats of what's happening in Kansas City and the market. In 2020, there were 29 houses or 29 properties. Some of them were not all, they could have been land or they could have been condos or what have you. But in the MLS, there were 29 properties over $2 million that closed. Now, 2021 closed and pending year to date. How many do you think that are actually recorded? Sometimes things sell off market as well, but how many do you think?
For 2021, how many sold over 2 million in Kansas City region this
Yeah,
this, this year? Let's do 40.
85.
Wow. So we went from 29 in 2020 to 85 this year.
85 properties over $2 million, which points to the market, the luxury market in particular, is just gone insane. Um,
Is that because we see more people wanting to buy here from out of town, or people moving back because of COVID and getting a better deal? I mean, there's a lot of factors I know, but that's like a. I mean, frankly I didn't know you could find 89 houses for over 2 million in Kansas City.
well, you can when you look at the entire area,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That
true.
includes all counties, everything that's part of the Heartland MLS.
Hmm.
However, it still is a mind blowing number to go from basically 30 to 85.
Yeah.
Again, there'd be more than that I know we sold a few over $2 million off market ourselves. I think it points to the fact that there's a lot of money moving into Kansas City, a ton of investment dollars are moving into Kansas City. And it also points to there's a lot of people locally that are doing really well and are taking advantage of the low. I mean, a lot of these properties end up being cash, but some of them do end up with notes on them. But the low interest rates, the ability to it's truly mind blowing. You'll price something and think it's worth X, and then you'll get offers well above that. Even in the fall, late fall, early winter market right now, you're still seeing it happen.
Hmm. That's a question I have then. So, coming up with pricing obviously is unique now. We are entering, well, it's been warm, obviously, but, January and February are usually your
It's
down months, right?
warm. Do you think this is warm? December. What are we at? What
Well,
is
if
today?
if you come from the West Coast, you're freezing right now, but for us, you feel good. Um,
It's
I
insane. The weather's crazy.
I know. So that obviously helps your industry, I would assume. It hasn't snowed yet. So showings are easier. People are still listing their homes. There's a huge demand. Those are all good things as we move into 2022. Uh, were there any negatives you think this year, or things that you didn't weren't excited about? Not about your business, but in the market as a whole, as real estate as a whole. I mean, it's not all perfect, is it? Or
I don't
maybe it
think
is. I
anything's
don't know.
perfect, is it? No.
No.
It's really hard to help buyers find properties, and it's so competitive, and they're having to be like, waive appraisal, waive inspections, pay 50 or 5, 10% over asking. I mean, it's a challenging market to try to help people, and you don't know if it's gonna have legs and last forever, or if it's potentially another bubble, perhaps. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
all
So when you
indicators
talk
are.
when you talk about listing a property, in the past, not you got to market it, you got to share it, and you guys do a great job on your Instagram and Facebook of doing that. But for instance, there is a house in my neighborhood that I messaged you about, and I went to look at it. I think the next day after I saw your Instagram post, and it was like a school drop off, man.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I drove down the street. I stopped, and then I did a circle to look at it again. The second look, and there was probably 2 to 3 cars doing the exact same thing I was on a Saturday morning. I mean, it's just crazy. I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about all the homes, like any appropriately priced house should sell right now. And then, the thing that's always difficult, it's just it's hard because there's people that do this that I don't feel are full-time agents that can look like they know what they're doing right now, if they live out, and they are unable to protect their sellers at the same level as like we are, for instance, just because they're not going to meet the appraiser. They're not going to negotiate inspections the way that honors and represents their seller. They're just kind of doing it, and they really don't have any idea what they're doing. So that's always difficult to have the people in the industry that candidly shouldn't be in the industry, and there's lots of them.
Mhm.
And I mean, I would say the most difficult thing always is in real estate is unrealistic sellers, unrealistic buyers, and unrealistic agents. If we could eliminate those three things, everything would be perfect utopia in society.
Yeah,
I just
right.
made that up, by the way. Yeah,
It
I
sounded
mean,
good.
did you like that? Is that
I
a sound
did.
bite? Okay.
So how are you guys adjusting in this year? I mean, you mentioned all of these things that are happening, but as a firm, how are you adjusting to the changes in the market when you have something that could sell overnight for cash off the market? I mean, it seems like, you've obviously lived through one of these before, in 2008, the other side of it, right? And then early 2000s, I think you were working then,
I've
when
been doing
everything
this
was
since
taking off.
2001, I think.
Yeah.
2000 is it 2000, 2001. So I've been doing it almost 22 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what we're doing is we're handling it the same way we would in any market, because there's always the potential that you're going to leave money on the table if you don't do everything that you can to front load, get the house ready at the highest level to attract the highest number of buyers, and get a bidding war going on. And there's always that place in pricing where you don't want to overprice something, especially in a market where you could maybe potentially price it a little bit lower and then have more people bid on it, which, if you have 2 offers on a property versus if you have 10 offers on a property, it's a very different experience.
Hmm.
So um, it's it's been fascinating.
Yeah.
Uh,
I Let's look at this from a buyer's perspective. I have a house that you sold me, or that you found for me, your business. Let's say I want to sell it, and look, talk to me about the buyer's perspective, because I feel like that's overlooked a lot in the whole real estate.
Well, the buyer perspective is you need someone who's willing to try to find you something off market that you're not going to be in competition on. Um, you need to have representation that knows how to communicate with the selling agent to position you in the best light. And you need to have someone who really understands the market and knows all the players in the market. And you need to have someone who has your best interest in mind. So if you are moving from California or a 2-year job and you think you're probably going to go back, do you buy or do you rent? Now, the typical real estate person is going to tell you, like, just buy, it's going to be great. I would tell you to consider renting. If you're going to be in a house for 10 years, well, then maybe you can write for an extra $20,000 over asking, because at the end of the day, what difference does it make if you're going to be there for 10 years? So I believe that the most important thing for buyers is the same thing that is important for sellers, and that is having representation that cares more about what you want to accomplish, not just selling you or transacting. So it's the same
Well
formula.
said. Well said. I'm intrigued, Andrew. I'm intrigued by all these things that we're talking about today.
Here's
This
a
is
question.
fascinating right now.
How much time do we have left?
Well, we're going to break right now, which
Okay,
is
so
why I'm
when we
going to
get
try to do
back,
more extended podcasts in the future so we can talk
yeah,
longer.
you
You're
should.
listening to the Grill Nation, Sean, with Andrew Bash, the owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. We will be right back. Okay. So now we'll continue recording here and then kick it off again. He's ready to roll. Okay.
How's my sound? Are we good? I'm not messing it
good.
up by drinking coffee,
No, you're
LaCroix,
good. You're
coffee, LaCroix.
good. Okay. And we will start here in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Grill Nation show with Jason Grill. Thanks for joining us again for the show today. We're all over the internet. We're on podcast, radio, also on YouTube and at grillnationshow.com. Andrew Bash is with us, the owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Real Estate, or Realty, excuse me. Their website is bashcosir.com, a great website. They have all their listings up there. And obviously, because Sotheby's International Realty is a established international brand. If you go anywhere in this great country or other countries, you will see the sign, the blue navy sign, everywhere you go, and they can help you out of market as well. We were talking about kind of 2021 and moving forward into 2022, and Andrew, you were about to mention something on when we were closing up the buyers conversation.
Yeah, so how much I enjoy asking you questions on your podcast because you don't like to answer questions. So let's try the exercise anyway.
Okay.
So Jason Grill, tell me, how do you define home?
Well, I always want it to be a place that I like to hang out at and be in. I find that as soon as you start looking at other things, you start to think about updating your home too much, and you're constantly trying to evolve. But I think of it somewhere as I'm proud of. I like to stay in. I like to maintain. I like to update. I like to have things that happen there. Part of major part of my life, of course.
Major part of your life. Tell me more about that. What does that mean?
You're spending most of your time here, so you better like it, right? Especially in the last few years with remote work and other things. So,
okay.
But I think there's little things that, if you're looking, you mentioned somebody moving somewhere from another place. Maybe you're looking to rent somewhere or buy somewhere in another state that you can visit. Those are types of things that I need an expert to help me with because I don't know the markets. I don't know other markets. I don't know those types of things. So
let me challenge you on something. One of my favorite things to see with your posts have to do with all the different trips you take with your dad and your parents. Like,
I need to do more of those, Andrew.
Well, but every time I see one, it makes me smile.
Yeah.
And I would challenge you that part of your definition of home has less to do with where you live and more to do with care about who you are.
Okay.
and your relationship with your parents, you in particular, truly is a part of how you define home. Regardless if you guys all live together, they matter and you hold them in your heart, for sure.
I haven't
Correct?
told you yet, Andrew. I'm living with my parents right now, 42. Have I not told you that?
No, do they move in with you?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
But I see your point, and
Well, my point is
one
this.
of my goals for 2022 is to have more of those experiences, inside outside of Kansas City. But and you're right. I like the way you spun that and made that.
Well, so for us, whether it be your grandkids, being closer to them, whether it be you're going through a divorce, whether you recently got married, whether you got to move school districts because your kid needs a different kind of specialty for helping them get through. Whatever it is, there's always something that has very little to do with the four walls and the roof that represent a house. And this company that we as a group, and I mean that when I say it's we, it's not mine, it's ours. We're creating a company that is focused on how to unlock home for each one of our clients. And each one of our clients has a different definition of home.
Mhm.
And our
Why
industry.
don't you give us a couple quick examples of that, or maybe just one, a success story in 2021? You talk about these different types of clients. We talked about the $2 million homes. You also talked about the median price is over 300,000 now. I know you're active in my neighborhood. You're also been active in the Northland.
My
You're
favorite
active all over.
story when you ask me that question is I have a client that we started a conversation 7 months ago about them possibly relocating. They wanted to try a different lifestyle and more of a resort community. He has the ability to work anywhere. And they came in the office, I don't know, probably 3 times, 4 times after we originally had our first meeting about selling their home. And I spent more time helping them get on the same page about this kind of possible move and what it meant for their family than I did just talking about selling their house. And they didn't have to, but we asked them to move out of their house because his contract ends in June. We're helping them find a house in a different part of the country. They moved out of their house into a 2-bedroom rental with multiple kids, and they let us paint some of the rooms in their house, and they let us stage their home. And we sold that house in multiple offers, over $1 million, and it probably would not have been able to fetch that kind of money if we were showing it with them in the home. So that's a perfect example of like taking the time to actually ask questions and find out what matters to our clients and then deliver upon what they're looking for, as opposed to like, hey, let's just put your house on the market with all of your stuff in here and sell it, which is what I really do believe most people who do what we do, that's how they operate. They don't look at it from a holistic approach. They look at it from a transactional approach. And the culture of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty being paired with the world's greatest real estate brand, Sotheby's International Realty, is truly something that no one else can touch in our marketplace. And we're super excited about where we're positioned and where we're headed. And, there's lots of people that I interviewed to come on board with our company. They just weren't a fit because they are way too egocentric. And I believe that our society as a whole is in the midst of moving towards how do we serve one another instead of just serving ourselves. And I
I
know
like
what
that.
both feel like. So I like the one that we're working on now, which is much more we-centric as it relates to us as individuals inside this company and how we operate. We-centric versus me-centric is truly a real thing. And this industry is going to demand that of each and every one of us that does this as a professional career, or you're going to be out of business, because between technology and the ability to just not have to pay for services, it's going to change the dynamic in the
Yeah,
next
and,
36 months.
moving into 2022, if the market continues to accelerate, you're right. I mean, you made a great point on that story because a lot of times in these situations, you don't have much time. Let's, for instance, say you're looking to buy a house, you get it, you have your other house, you got to figure out what the heck you're going to do with that. Maybe you have the same realtor who knows someone, like you said, that knows something off market that could come in, and then the person saves a little money. But the point is that a lot of these things, are so fast that you don't have the proper planning time. But you're saying, hey, we help you with that. If you really want to know how to have the top experts help you, you can do that with our company.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Andrew Bash is with us, owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty, website bashcosir.com. As we go into 2022, Andrew, you kind of alluded to this and kind of your we-centric approach. What are you most excited about, both personally and professionally, as we move into 2022?
Well, I'm most excited about Courtney, Oscar, Augie, and Pop Bash. That is always bringing me more excitement than anything. My family is definitely my definition of home. Getting to spend time with them, finding ways to continue to have incredible conversations with. My three kids they're my everything, and they're
Mhm.
hilarious, and they're becoming small
How old are they now? I
people.
mean, they're like teenagers now, right?
Yeah, so Oscar's 15, Augie's 14, and Poppy is 11.
Wow,
And they're amazing.
that's
So,
awesome.
and my wife is also amazing. That's why they're amazing.
I
They're
haven't seen her in a
amazing.
while, so I need to reconnect with you guys. But I'm sure she's doing great. I
She's
love it.
doing phenomenal.
I love it. Okay, so
So,
you got personal now. Now let's move to professional.
professional's easy. It's continue to create and hone this culture and create a place where agents. I hate when I say that. Where
We got to think of a
agents,
better name. We got to think of a better name.
well, where agents can find a place where they're partners and business owners, and that we can support them and help them become better versions of themselves. I really look at this whole industry and the idea of home as individuals. If we're able to connect with our own truth and who we are and how we're operating, we then create um, a whole new way of doing this industry. And it's my everything. I know from my own journey and my own transformation, how different I am than I was from multiple years ago. As you know, about the bullying and the operated previously, how I can still operate that way in an unskillful manner. It doesn't look as ugly as it did when I was 17. But I
Yeah.
really believe that each one of us, as we move along our journey, if we're interested in trying to be better versions of ourselves, we get to create amazing experiences for others.
Before we go to break, Andrew, I have a quick question. If you weren't in real estate, what would you be doing?
Oh, who knows? I'm in real estate.
Yeah, I'd love to pick that question out of you sometime and go deeper into that because, I don't know. I feel like
I'm
you'd
not
be in.
in, but I just want to make sure that I tell
You're
you this.
definitely a people person,
I'm not in real estate. That's not what I do.
right?
I'm in
You're
the
in the people. You're
business
in
of
the you're in the
helping people
people
find
business.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would definitely be in the people business if you weren't in real estate, or what you like to call it, and
No,
helping
I'd
people.
probably be an engineer at Burns and Mac, and I would have been fired after 8 seconds because they'd be like, "How did you get in here?" That's probably what I'm doing.
Andrew Bash is our guest, owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. We have a segment left on the show. We'll be right back after the break. Thanks for joining us on today's Grill Nation show.
Did I see? Did you get a comment from
Yeah,
Jim?
yeah, I've got a comment. I'll bring it up here. Um, yeah, from our friend Jim Heater, who lives in Colorado now, I believe. He was complimenting you on the show today. And talking about knowing
Oh
your
God, let's talk
father.
about that. That'll be fun. I'm serious.
Okay.
That's so nice of him.
Yeah, it is. I miss Jim. Um,
Why don't you? Why you? Do you used to see him early?
Well, he's in Colorado now, so I don't see
Oh,
him
is
as
he in
much.
Colorado now? Where's he in Colorado?
I think somewhere around Denver, but maybe I'm wrong. He's in the
I,
mountains.
yeah, I love Jim Heater. He's awesome.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Grill Nation show. Thank you for joining us again today. I appreciate it. We're joined by Andrew Bash, who's the owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. Their website is bashcosir.com. Great website, great organization. We've talked about a lot of topics today, Andrew, and as we close out on our final segment, let's break down a few more. You're always really good about business and life lessons.
Yeah,
I
read
love.
that comment from Jim. Let's talk
Oh
about
yeah, oh
that.
yeah. You want to start with that? Okay, so Jim
Yeah.
Heater, former president of the and head of the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, and obviously an attorney and just a well-known guy, commented, and I'll bring it up on the screen if you're watching us. If you're listening, I'll read it to you. Jim Heater obviously compliments the program and Andrew Bash, and he got to know your father, a great businessman and civic leader. He knew you when you started in real estate, and he's enjoyed the show today and watching it here on our live stream and listening as well. What are your comments on that, Andrew?
Well, it kind of falls in line with the concept of home again. I love my dad and my mom, of course, also. But my father passed away in 2013, and every time I get one of these, so my dad way of out to know he's watching me, and I've had a lot of these of late. One was a story from a woman the other day that talked about how he helped one of his clients when he was in the money management business get back from Paris after a heart attack out there. And my dad was involved with the Salvation Army. He did a lot of civic stuff, and he was a special dude, and
Yeah.
I miss him. And I would say that how this plays into I think we all think linear way too often. And I've had lots of experiences with the old man showing up in the weirdest and oddest ways to let me know that he's still hanging around here, patting me on the back when something goes well. And it's fun. I really love my life and the way that things unfold. And I'm grateful for Jim Heater, who I know in a number of different capacities.
We
He's an
need to
amazing
we need to
dude.
go visit Jim Heater. We need it when he's in town next time. We should get together with him for coffee or something.
Well,
Because
maybe I'll go see him next week. I'm going to reach out to him after we hang up. I'll be
yeah,
out in
you go out.
Colorado on Sunday.
You'll go
So
out there. Well, look what the Grill
yeah,
Nation show does. Bringing people back together. Andrew, great information. I thought your comment about linear was interesting there, and how we don't always have to grow that way.
yeah. We think way more limitedly than we should, and I think that's the other thing about this company and about me is I strive to work with an abundance mindset, which means there's plenty for everybody.
Hmm.
And that's how growth happens. I don't always do it, but I try. And I think an abundance mindset also allows for not assuming that you know everything and coming from a place of curiosity to find out more and to strive for being of service to others.
Hmm.
So
I love it. Andrew Bash is with us. Let's just briefly again talk about what we predict in 2022. Or, you mentioned, the market is just exploding in Kansas City. I know it's exploding in other cities as well. It's not just us. In 2020, it was like, okay, it's gonna, with COVID, everything's gonna go down, and then like in New York and other major markets, it's now like exploding as well. Uh, in 2021, so it was very short term as far as like the downfall there.
sure.
And now we're going into 2022. Obviously, I mean, you can't predict the future, but it seems like Kansas City is going to continue to excel as a market that people want to live in. And rent.
Yeah. So we just recently sold a new executive to Kansas City. and he and his wife are having so much fun here, and they love it. And everything that every time they do something new, they're like, "Oh my God, this reminds me of um, such and such in LA," or our city has become so much more interesting and progressive than it was when I moved here in 2000, 2001. And I think we're going to continue to see growth. I think we're going to continue to have lots of people consider moving here because they are able to work remotely. And is this going to slow down? Are the prices going to come down? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't try to time it, that's for sure. But I would say that people are going to continue to have to figure out what they're going to do for shelter. And there are going to be agents that focus on the piece of where do you want to live. And there will be us who are just immensely passionate about focusing on what you need to be connected to your definition of home. And it is an exciting and amazing journey, and it's organic and it's not overnight, but it's happening, and I'm really excited about it. So that's my prediction.
You mentioned Kansas City growing and becoming a place like your new executive reminded them of some of their favorite places in big cities. What is one of your favorite new places in Kansas City to go to dinner or to hang out at from 2021?
Well, I don't know if it's new, but I always like going to the restaurant at 1900. I think that's probably one of the best restaurants in Kansas City. I've been to Town and Company a few times. I think that's great.
I think that the people want to know, Andrew, like, what do you like to do when you're free time, when you're not, at meetings all day and talking to people?
I like to hang out with my family. That's what I'd rather do than anything else, because I have three really, really interesting, funny kids. And like my wife is probably, although I end up being the butt of some of her jokes, they're really funny, and she's hilarious. So we have a lot of fun, the five of us. Like, I mean, other people may not find me funny, but I do believe that all five of us are funny and pretty interesting to hang around with. So that's my favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite day
what kind
of
of things, like you
2021.
mentioned you're going out. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to tell you, my birthday, we went to Westport Cafe, which I also think is amazing. Just the five of us, and it was definitely one of the highlights of my year, getting to hang out with my five on the hand.
Yeah, right. Time flies, man. I remember when you were with your kids at the World Series, man. That seems like just yesterday, and they were little.
Yeah, that was just
7
Augie.
years ago.
Well,
6 or 7 years
the
ago.
whole family went to the World Series in town, but then Augie and I went to New York.
Yeah.
He's
amazing,
14 now and realizes that when he came out of after he won, he's like, "Where will we go next year for the World Series?" I was like, "It's not like that, brother." So,
the kids of this generation are spoiled with the Royals and the Chiefs' success the last 7 to 8 years. And
yeah,
supporting KC, of course, it's
they don't
a
know
good
what it was
time
like to have Mike Livingston as your quarterback.
There was some winners over the years. I'm still partial to the Steve.
You don't even know who Mike Livingston it was, do you?
I do. I remember him.
Okay, because you're young. You're like a baby compared to me.
Andrew, I'm so excited to see you again. You mentioned you're taking a trip out of Kansas City. Where do you like to go with your family and spend time with them? You said Colorado.
I like to go to Colorado. I went to Africa last year.
You guys ski together? Family ski?
Yeah. They don't get up early enough, which is frustrating to me, but I'm working through it.
I love it.
So,
and Andrew Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty, bashcosir.com. On the internet, they have a great team. I've gotten a chance to get to know some of them over the years, and obviously know Andrew, and they will take care of you and help you. And it's just not a transactional thing with them. And that's exciting. And I'm excited to see kind of what transpires here as we go through 2022. And, Andrew, at some point I'm probably going to have to list my house if I ever want to, and then have you find one of those good ones off market for me.
we can talk right?
I'll let you stage my house, Andrew. I promise.
You don't need to stage your house. It's perfect. Your house is amazing. Everything you've done is incredible. It's one of my favorite houses.
Well, I can't wait to see you again. I want to thank all the listeners for joining us as well. You've been listening to the Grill Nation show. Andrew Bash, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jason.
We'll see you again next week, everybody. Take care and have a great day. Okay, we got to do our sneak peek, Andrew.
Okay, Jason, let's do that sneak peak. I love a good sneak
I
peek.
want to let you know that Jim has now responded to us. He says you can see his comment up on the screen. Great comments about your dad living in Colorado but missing KC, and our good friends like you guys. So thank you to Jim.
That's awesome.
We'll definitely visit Jim when we're out there. Let us know when you're in town as well. Okay.
So is he watching it?
Yeah, on my internet, on my social media.
Oh, that's cool. God, you're such a big deal, Grill. Side note. I remember way back when.
Yeah, it was fun back then. We have to go to the studio and talk to each other in person.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. What do you want the question to be? Do you want to talk about kind of more of the holistic stuff about your success story, maybe?
I don't care. Whatever you want to, you just ask whatever you want to ask. I don't care.
Let's talk about that success story again. I thought that was interesting.
Which success story?
About the person that wanted to list their home and you staged it and why that was important.
That's pretty long, isn't
it? Okay. Do you want to just do an update on Kansas City or what you're thinking or go into next year? And I don't want to talk about your company is my point. I want to talk about others.
Yeah, whatever. Just ask the question. I'm fine with the family.
Okay.
I'll channel something. The universe will provide. The dude abides.
Actually, no. I want to pivot. I want to talk about what you're expecting to see in the Kansas City market. I like that answer with how we've changed and the example from the person that moved here. I like that.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
You zoomed in, so now I can see all. You're such a handsome young man. My goodness, you're a handsome young lad.
We're taping right now. Okay.
I don't really care.
It's 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Grill Nation show. One question sneak peek. I'm your host, Jason Grill. Today, we're joined by Andrew Bash, who is the owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. Their website is bashcosir.com. Andrew, quick question for you. What are you seeing in Kansas City? Why are you excited about this market? I know you probably have an example of someone you've worked with maybe that moved here and what they've seen so far. Give us kind of a take on that.
Well, I'm excited about the fact that our Kansas City, which used to be kind of a sleeper, has become one of the coolest places in all of North America to live. And more people that move here are just blown away by the culture, the food, the people. And although it's hard to deal with some of the issues that can happen with no longer being the best kept secret in America, it's a lot of fun to watch our clients and our executives that move here that end up just falling in love with our city. It's really, really amazing.
The market looks good in Kansas City. I know that we'll get into that on the show this week. The housing prices have risen. You obviously work with people who are both buying and selling with Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. You had a successful year in 2021, and we're going to get into all of that and kind of your general philosophy on how you help people and help them kind of find their home, if you will, quote unquote, and what they get out of that place as well on today's show, on this week's show.
It's great.
It's going to be a great show. Andrew Bash is with us, the owner of Bash & Co. Sotheby's International Realty. Their website is bashcosir.com. We're going to have a lot of fun on today's show, and Andrew will even ask me some questions as well, which he loves to do on this week's show. Thanks for watching this one question sneak peek. We will see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 1 second, Andrew.